All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron Michael Eschenberg here, Honest Dame, bringing you some honest astrology for this awesome Tuesday. We've got a big solar eclipse coming up at just 3:15, so just in a few hours here, a little over 4 hours from right now. Big solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. All right, it's happening at 10 degrees. The north node's at 17 degrees. All right, this is what makes a new moon or a full moon. An eclipse is when it's by the nodes, okay? So the nodes are these real points in the sky that move. Every 18 months they change signs, they move backwards. So an elliptical pattern, it's the 2 points that the moon goes around. So those move, all right? So this new moon is in the same plane as the node. So we have an eclipse, big solar eclipse in Cancer, all right? Now, it would just be a solar eclipse in Cancer, conjunct the north node. However, we have something conjunct the south node right now, something that's been there for a long time this year. It's Saturn, okay? So that makes this extremely, extremely, extremely powerful, a very, very powerful new moon. Which is kind of why I waited to put this out. I mean, there's been an intense week moving up here for myself as well as so many people I know. That this energy that's been going on this is the great release that's coming up today. It's like it's like we can breathe moment. And sometimes, a lot of people like to put these, out, put them out the very first, and it's just like, well, with this energy, really doesn't sink in until 3:15 today. So what's the point of putting this out 2 weeks ahead of time? It's just like there's so much. That's why I do these dailies. We can do dailies. There's so much energy going on. Let me show you the chart, and I'll come back and talk about it here. So one thing that we see, this is new. All right, Mars has moved into Leo. This is excellent. This is so absolutely fantastic for all of us. Hold on, let's just do one of these. Yes. Okay, like the fact that Mars is out of Cancer. Okay, it's a weaker point in the zodiac for Mars to be. Again, our warrior is learning to swim instead of running, instead of skydiving through the air, running on the ground, whatever. It's just a more resistance. All right, so he's very, very, very happy to be in the sign of Leo, where there's all of this fire, all of this passion, this creative energy of self, right? This self-creative energy right now. Mercury is in Leo. Mercury is going to go retrograde in just a few days here. So it's at 3 degrees of Leo, and Mars is at 0 degrees of Leo. Both of these are now squaring Uranus, okay? The great awakener. This is the great breakthroughs, okay? So it's just like self-ego breakthroughs. Okay, and how we're doing these in the very solid, stable, grounded sign of Taurus, which is our traditions, which is our core values, which is the things that don't move. It's like you don't know what grows under the things that don't move. Move the furniture, you find some cobwebs. You find a receipt from 10 years ago. Anyway, so we don't know what grows under the things that don't move. All right, so Uranus wants to shake things up, wants to move things around. All right. And then now we've got this new moon. So usually when we have a new moon, we don't see the effect. We just look up in the sky and there's nothing there. We're at 3:15 today, and especially now that's Eastern Standard Time, of course, here in Metro Detroit. If anyone here locally drives down to Ohio, about 2 hours away, you're going to see the eclipse a lot better than you will here in Metro Detroit. So we got to be a little bit more south. We're a little too far north of where we're at. We're still going to feel it. We're still going to see it. No question about it. It's not as far south as it was in 2017. That was a very exact, like 97, 98% exact solar eclipse. This one, again, we're 7 degrees off. 7 degrees off of the node. So this isn't like totality of coverage. Nonetheless, let's get back to the meat and potatoes of what this means, okay? For one, the moon is home in Cancer. North node is kind of home in Cancer too, as this wants us to be authentic. This wants us to be our real selves, to not live through our ego. That's Leo's job. Leo's job is the fire of our ego, Cancer's just like, no. Cancer's, I like to use I have a Cancer moon. I'm born on a lunar eclipse. Cancer, Capricorn. So this is very much in my chart. This energy is very much in my chart, and one I can definitely identify with and help anybody out who's, that's coming up. The lunar eclipse aspect is coming up soon, and we've got one on Christmas on December 25th. So just 2 weeks from now, and then December 25th, we've got 2 more eclipses. Anyway, Moon is kind of home, and Moon is home in Cancer. The North Node is wanting us to go toward this authenticity. The sun represents ourself. Sun is kind of that Leo fire energy is where we represent the sun at. So this is like back one. We're not quite at ego self. We're back. We're at the it's when you're sick. I love using an example. It's like when you are sick, you are your kind of one of your most authentic. It's just like. We try to wear these armored coats and say, I don't need anybody, I don't need anything, I'm one of those guys as almost, Capricorn sun, although it's connected to the South Node, I'm like a very kind of self-empowered, active individual. So when it comes time, I love helping other people. When it comes time for someone else to help me, I'm kind of like, no, it's okay, And then literally the universe has to hit me really hard. I mean, I dislocated my shoulder last year and had surgery on it, and I was helpless, for 3 or 4 days, and it's just like, okay, I have to surrender. I have to surrender and just say, okay, I need help. I can't do this all on my own, I have to surrender. All right, so the Cancer sun and Cancer moon right now connected with the North Node, we have to surrender. We have to surrender to our own selves, to our own ego, and be like, look, man, we're getting out of control with some of this stuff, with how far we're taking some of our words, with how far we're taking some of our own personal views and stuff. It's like, reel it in here a little bit, reel it in, bring it down, and just like core values, core values. What does a human need? What does a human want? How do we just simply survive? And how do we simply survive with one another? On a personal note, a personal theory, we're all crayons. We need the entire spectrum. And that can be difficult sometimes when we have such extremes, as far as like, I don't even know how to... We need the red crayon, we need the green crayon, we need the yellow crayon, and sometimes these are just simply different views that stand on different sides of the streets that will never see eye to eye. However, we have all the colors of the spectrum in the middle that fill in those gaps. So it's like, okay, the red crayon, it doesn't need to be a yellow crayon, and it never will be. It just never will be. And a yellow crayon will never be a green crayon. It just can't be. It's its own thing, and we have to respect every individual color of the spectrum. We don't have to use it in every single painting. We don't have to use it ever. You know what I mean? But each individual thing is kind of there. So, new noises, new house. So when we're coming into our own authenticity, understanding that, hey, you're on your path and you're doing your thing, and whatever you're doing is really important in your life and in your community and your friends, and these are all connected, and it's connected with me and mine. And I am a firm believer that sometimes we need the villains to rise in order for the heroes to come out of the woodworks. Okay, so sometimes the heroes don't know who they are until the villain comes out and says, oh, holy smokes, well, we can't have that. And now all of a sudden, there's this kind of fire and this energy that comes up of this, like, standing up for the good guys, or the, representing the people, and that's kind of what this Cancer moon, new moon energy solar eclipse is about, is like doing the right thing, standing up for the people, coming into authenticity. Okay, like, yeah, there's lots of differences in the world, lots of those different colors and perspectives. And that's okay. We need those things for the whole overall picture, for the big roundedness, for the, the all of everything under the umbrella. But the important thing is, like, to not be too ahead of ourselves in that Leo energy. Now, Mars and Mercury are there to sustain us right now because we've had so much water. We've had all this water that's kind of been bringing us, not down, but all right, look, this is the cardinal water sign. Cardinal water sign, meaning this is take action. Meaning, right, so in Scorpio, this is like dig deeper and passionate, dig deeper in what is really going on. What is the underlying business here that's going on, right? And bring that to the surface and bring it out. And then over in Pisces, this is like the completion zone. This is like I'm reflecting now, okay, on everything that was and everything that is before I start my new journey. Where Cancer is the first water sign. This is the cardinal water sign, the strongest water sign that says take action. Follow that heart, follow your intuition, follow your compassion. And man, do not be bullied by some other outside forces, because what can happen, when we come in compassionate, we come in soft, we come in loose and open, and we want to flow. That's what water does. Water flows and it wiggles like this. Okay, so then what happens when now we have some other serious, very intense energies that come along and want to kind of, and they see your flowiness and they want to beat you up and and then what happens, we get small over here and then we shrink on this side. It's just like we can't afford to do that right now. We have to be us. We have to be ourselves. Mars has entered Leo. It's like I know who I am, and just because I'm a compassionate person or I'm I care, just a simple person that cares or wants to be, not up here with ego, but to communicate with heart and find a solution to whatever is going on, doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that you can just bully me around. So now that's where we get into this, okay, well, where does, this strongness come in, and it's just like being firm in our convictions of authenticity. To what depths, to what levels are we going here? Because what across the way, and I'm pointing this, let me just show you here. Across the way is Saturn, okay? And what does Saturn want us to do? Saturn says, look, we need to structure, okay? We need to restructure. Now, the south node is right here at 17 degrees. North node 17 degrees. So this is an exact conjunction of Saturn and the south node. And the moon will obviously a little bit later today will be exact conjunction, but this business right here is the meat at 3:16 today. So either way, that's still a very, very close opposition that's going on here. It's Saturn saying this is release, 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 and restructure, release and restructure. Okay. Now, let me come back here. I'm going to share a story with you, personal story. This relates to the astrology of what's going on, and this is difficult because some of you know that I work in the film industry. That is my main job, and I work for all the fun shows all of them. All right, and I'll be honest with you, my heart was broken this past week. Broken. Got to work on one of the biggest shows out there. One of the biggest shows out there. Big network show. Without breaking my NDA, this is something along the lines of the United States has skills, okay? And while we're filming here, now there's certain kinds of filming. There's verite filming, docu-style filming. Then there's scripted filming, okay? Where we're embodying a character. And where this character comes alive, and actors. Now, docu-style and verite just mean we're fly on the wall. We're filming, the reality of the situation. There's a point to this, so I'm getting there. This is kind of huge. So here we are filming in downtown Detroit with a choir leader and a bunch of children. Okay. Choir leader and a bunch of children, and this director is a very well-spoken individual, and our director, as he's speaking and doing his speech, our director is saying, no, we don't want it like this. We want you to say it like this, and go it big, and the freedom, and we're leaving Detroit and making it to Hollywood. To the point where every time this gentleman spoke, the director would cut him off and say, no, we need it like this. Like some sort of Baptist preacher kind of Martin Luther King speech. And it was, as a local Detroiter, it made me sick. The parents, people came up to me during this and said, why are we filming in front of these ghetto houses when there's clearly a nice house right next door? Why are we filming these children in tall grass when there's a beautiful place with short grass right here? Now we're coming full circle to back to the astrology. It's so prime, okay? Because this is so disheartening, because what we're showing is not the reality. We're not showing the authenticity of Detroit. We're not showing the authenticity of the character, of the true person that is, and the essence of why these people made it where they did, how they got there, okay? And instead it's this farce. It's this complete fabricated garbage to pull on some heartstrings, okay? Is this sustainable? Is that where we're going? I am fired up about it, furious when parents are walking up to me about this, and I'm the local, and I'm recognized as the local because I work here, and it's just like, yeah, these Hollywood people want to come over and pull on some heartstrings, and it's disgusting, and it's like, come on, man. So coming back full circle, how do we relate this with astrology? How are we relating this with sinking into our authenticity, by being real, by not fabricating, by not trying to over dramatize something for an effect, not to over dramatize really what something is, or not live too much in our headspace, or this, hey, I'm Mr. Hollywood, dude, it's like, come down, be real. Who is this? Because this person in front of you that's giving the real speech, that's the moment, that's the glory. This concept that you have in your head, it's like, let it go. Let go of these ideas of how something should be. Let go of the concept that this is what, that this is how someone should give a speech, or this is how, it's like, be real. And accept that realness. Allow and accept that realness. It's like, look, if this is what you look like when you're sick, if this is what you look like when you're leaning over puking, that's your realness. When you're asking for help because you are down and out, that is realness. And we're all there. We all need that. We all need a help. We all need a hand. We're all just trying to survive, trying to figure this out. Thank God our predecessors and whatever they figured out, and they've passed the knowledge down, and we can continue to do that and try to help everybody out on their way. That realness, though, is what we're trying to go for. That realness is what this eclipse is about. And to not, honestly, shows like that, with ratings like that, and doing stuff like that, that's not real. That's not what this world needs. That's not what we need. And by supporting things like this, by continuing to work on it, trust me, I had my peace with them. I will probably never be working for that company ever again. And I'm very, very fine with that, because that, as a filmmaker, I want to educate through entertainment. I'm not about that. Coming down, keeping it real. And now we have this fire drive. I'm going on tangents here, but we have this base, this square. We need this balance, okay? This breakthrough to this fire energy. And where is this connecting to? Up here, all right? This is all of this, the information is out there. The faith in oneself is out there. And to know thyself, to know your limits, to know, look, where we're going to this beautiful place of expansion. We're trying to get rid of all this BS that's going on. We're literally filtering out all the crap, and we're bringing it down to the bottom, the realness, that real water, that good stuff, right? And we're taking action. Again, this isn't just the diving deep that happens in Scorpio. This isn't just the reflection that happens in Pisces. We're taking action. We are following through with that. So on the flip side of things, this can be a very emotional day. This can be a very emotional few days, okay? Because this is the beginning. The beginning starts at 3:15. 3:16 is exact, Go outside at 3 o'clock, put your little glasses on. The shadows are going to get weird. It's going to be cool. Let go. We have so much thinking of this is how the world needs to be, and this is what works, and this is this, and this is this, and this is the structure of Saturn that says laws. These are the laws that govern our world, and these are the laws that work. Yeah, there are laws that govern the world. But as far as the man-made laws go, we keep reinventing them. We keep reinventing the wheel. We keep reinventing. The spectrum gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we find more colors in between colors. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we find that balance between the red crayon and the yellow crayon. We find that beautiful orange. You know, like I can identify with that because we see both sides of this fence. You know what I mean? So, authenticity, our own expansion, and following through, taking action by it, by not believing. I'm going to tie in one more. I worked on another one this past week that had to do with a very serious crisis that's been happening here in Michigan with our water, okay? And as I was talking to one of our producers, and I was saying, oh my God, I'm so thankful you guys are doing this. I love this kind of content more than anything else, just, you know, trying to help people, you know, if we can use our cameras and all this stuff to help people out. You know, and I said, I have a production company. If you have anything to this reporter, I said, if you have anything that you want to do for this kind of positivity, you let me know and we'll go film it. And she said, that's not what pays the bills, unfortunately. We got to sell them sugar and plastic. My heart dropped. I said, I am in front of you right now with production equipment. All the lights, camera gear, and sound that you need. And you are a story producer. And we can go create this stuff. But in this person's head, in this individual's head, we can't pay our bills by good quality content. That we have to sell sugar and plastic. Heartbroken. Like, come on, we have to take action. We have to be the ones that do something about this. We have to be the ones that say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference here. I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to say no to this. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to this kind of filming. Like, that's disgusting. I called that guy out, told him he lowered the bar in filmmaking. He was not pleased. Nonetheless, we got to follow through and take action for some of these things. You know what I mean? Because the more that we give in, the more that we just allow and accept of how things are. Now, see, that's funny. I'm creating a paradox here. I'm saying allow and accept, but then don't allow and accept over here. So how do I reiterate that? Things are, we have created a system. That system has been working for a very long time. Its system is broken. We need to reinvent the wheel. We need to break this wheel altogether, okay? So when I'm saying allow and accept, that's not that we can see that this wheel is broken. We can see that action needs to be taken place. Yeah. So when I say allow and accept, I'm talking about the spectrum of the crayons. You know, we can't change a person's mind. We can't. You know, one of my favorite quotes in this world is whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. You know, I wholeheartedly believe we are all antennas. You know, I've got all this audio gear and I have different antennas for different frequency blocks, okay? My block 21 antenna will not work on my block 26 transmitters. They will not receive the signal. The download from the universe, okay? Einstein's brain was wired for light. He had a very hard time wrapping his brain around quantum physics. Love quantum physics because there is no mind, there is no reality without mind entering into it first, right? Our perception of reality shapes our reality. So Einstein had a very hard time doing this. Why? Because his antenna was very much geared toward light. That was his connection. So each of these different crayons, antennas that are geared towards something different. And sometimes we see people, like I just saw over this, you know, working on that show, hey, I don't identify with your antenna. I don't identify what you're doing. I allow and I accept it that you are doing this, and I take it onto my hands to do something different, to speak something different, to encourage other people to do something different. To really show what is Detroit really like. Stop looking for the bad spots, man. Literally asking, oh, it looks too nice here. We're shooting by the spirit of Detroit. It looks too nice here. We need to go someplace more grimy. It's like, you are terrible. You know, I accept you how you are. I'm not going to try to change you, but I'm going to take it upon myself to take action and to do something differently and to present a different picture. And hopefully, once that's presented to other people, they can choose. What do you want? You want sugar and plastic? Or do you want the authenticity? Because that's where we're going. All right? So, have an amazing, authentic new moon, solar eclipse in Cancer. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your passion, follow your intuition. Sink to the bottom, that water emotional energy and take action. This is big energy, big energy. Whew. That was a long one today. Hopefully I don't get sued. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.